For today's movie review, I'll be reviewing the 1985 North Korean fantasy monster film, Pulgasari, a film that's rather infamous for its production history, because back in 1978, Kim Jong-il, yes, that Kim Jong-il, ordered the North Korean intelligence to kidnap a movie director along with his ex-wife to create a fantasy propaganda film for the North Korean government, because Kim Jong-un was a huge fan of Godzilla and other daikaiju movies, that he wanted Korea to have its own memorable daikaiju film that wasn't Yongari, Monster from the Deep, and the movie was only shown in Korea because after its release, this movie wouldn't be released for a decade, and essentially 1 decade later, the movie has gained a cult following. And with the movie having such an infamous production history, is Pulgasari any good? As for the plot of Pulgasari, it's about this blacksmith who gets imprisoned because he refused to make any more weapons for the evil king of Korea, and decides to create a monster composed of rice, clay, and his daughter's blood to help the people of Korea fight back against the evil king. In terms of what I liked about the movie, I like how this is a different take on the daikaiju genre, since this is more of a fantasy-based film than it is a science fiction film like some of the early daikaiju movies. Also, I like how this takes place in feudal Korea, and we get to see how, warriors from that time period deal with a giant monster like Pulgasari. And speaking of the monster, I actually do like the monster of the movie, Pulgasari, for both his personality and his physical design, because his physical design, he looks like a cross between a minotaur and a lizard, but with metal plating, and he's a really sympathetic character. Pretty cool monster, to say the least. I also like how the movie deals with the themes of communism, with Pulgasari serving as the poet metaphor for communism. And the movie has a decent budget, the cinematography is great, the fight scenes are great, the characters are really memorable, the movie has a great musical score, and the ending actually really surprised me. Because on one hand, I kind of saw it coming, but on the other hand, I was like, oh, I didn't think they were going to go in that particular direction, and I'm not going to give any more away about the ending, but let's just say I was surprised by it. In terms of what I disliked about the movie, even though the budget for the movie is pretty good, there are points in time where some of the special effects aren't the best. Mainly the chroma key effects, and some of the practical effects aren't as good neither. I do like the fact that you have this character standing next to a giant foot, which is supposed to be Pulgasari. I appreciate the thought of having a practical effect there, but the actual prop itself doesn't look that good. And also, there's a lot of plot points and elements that really aren't addressed or brought up again in the rest of the movie. Case in point, one of the evil general's plans is to have this priestess essentially defeat Pulgasari, and she neutralizes him for a little bit. But the thing is, the only thing we know about the priest apparently came from the same village as the blacksmith, and we never ever met this character before, and she's never talked about or seen again for the rest of the movie. And even though the movie's well-paced, as far as the monster action goes, it takes a while to build up, because the monster starts out small, but then it gets bigger as the film progresses, which I don't mind. It's just, we don't see enough of the monster, at least not till halfway through. So for my final verdict of Pulgasari, despite the movie having a rather infamous production history, I do think it's a pretty good movie. It's a different take on the giant monster movie genre. Granted, it's not perfect in some cases, but I do think Pulgasari is worth checking out. And before I give my final rating, what did everyone else have to say about Pulgasari? Looks like not many people liked Pulgasari, so for my final rating of Pulgasari, I give it 3.5 out of 5. What is your favorite propaganda movie, and see you later.